It's one of those. It's one of those. John here, you there. Thanks as always for hanging out. It's a Monday, which means it is time for the soccer over theirs. And once I figured out where my buttons were that I could actually push them, then here's the rundown. We got to talk about what happened, obviously, overseas and things. And what happened in FA Cup. We now have our new setups for the round of 8 after what happened this afternoon. So we'll get into that. We've got to get into Champions League. And we've also got to get into South America, where you had an incident, shall we say. We had one of those games, and this was where the title of the show came from this time around. And literally, I don't think I've ever seen as many red cards in this discussion than I've ever had. Literally, this is the most red cards I think I've ever seen. And so we'll get into that. We'll get into all of the other things that are going on. And then obviously in hour number 2, it's picks of the week. And so we'll get educated and we'll kind of look at things and we'll sit there and go, okay, what if we go here? And I'm going to try. And I know that, God bless Katie Weaver and the Soccer for Good OG. OG is looking for stuff on the African continent, and I appreciate that you guys go to SofaScore to look for your matches. And we will be getting into that. And so, if this particular individual decides he wants to come into the show tonight, I will have a bit of a discussion with him as well. So there we go. Okay, so I guess this is kind of like an opening kickoffy kind of thing, but I don't know if it's if it is a true segment that is attached to SOT or not. And opening kickoff is always brought to us by our friends at Black Pitch Coffee and blackpitchcoffee.com. I have to get my notes in the morning so that way I can actually read the promo. But anyway, it is one of those moments here where you just kind of shake your head. And it was kind of like a Mahoras Patatas moment. And by the way, Mahoras Patatas, as of yesterday, had another amazingly shocking tackle on their Twitter account. So I would recommend perhaps following them if you don't, or tracking them if you can. And it was just crazy to see the moment happen. Evening D Graham, Evening Ropes. So it was, and you can get this by watching Fanatis, by the way, at fntz.co/soccer down here. You can use that link because it helps them out, it helps us out, and it helps you out by adding more and more leagues and more countries and more styles of play to what you currently have with all of your streaming services. So if you should so feel fit to say that 10 times fast, you could have seen in Brazil a match yesterday, and it was a matchup between Cruzeiro and Atletico Mineiro. And it was 6 minutes added the second half. Cruzeiro's up 1-0. Atletico Mineiro is trying to get an equalizer. And it was in the, how we always talk about in Brazil, you have the you have the national leagues, and then you have like the individual tournaments, like the territorial tournaments or the county or whatever you want to call them. This was in the Campeonato Mineiro final. So this was not like a league final. This was a Campeonato regional kind of a deal. So you have a brawl in Belo Horizonte, and Cruzeiro was up 1-0. And so Atletico's keeper Everson basically rugby tackles Christian to the ground after he collided with him, contesting a ball that Everson had spilled. So Everson kneeled on Christian, catching the keeper's face, and then shouted, kind of like, I'm coming after you, applying pressure to his back. And so then, of course, that prompts the reaction from Cruzeiro players who weren't having it, who confronted Everson. And so they pushed him into the net, and that triggered everything. Literally, it blew everything else up at that point. So you have a brawl go into the goal. You have a brawl second section literally working its way out from out the 18, outside the 18, and all the way close to center circle. You had players going after players, and it was kicking and punching and all the things. Security staff who looked like they were completely and totally overwhelmed in the process. They couldn't stop it. You had substitutes coming off the bench, members of the coaching staff coming off the bench, lasted for more than a minute, and then the game was completed without anybody being sent off. Tell me how that happens. So referee finishes the match, and according to O Globo, 23 expulsions after the brawl. 23 red cards. They were all retroactive, considering that the ref basically was like, all right, let's get this ish underway. And it was less than a minute, really, minus the time that was there for the brawl. And so you're probably looking at, after about a 2.5 or a 3 minute delay, you get the 45 seconds left to finish the match. And then the man in the middle retroactively, after the match is over, gives 23 red cards. 23 red cards. I'm not kidding. Widespread brawl. Referee's document that was released this morning. Mateus Kandanshan, and this is translated from our friends at Globo, highlighted the origin of the confusion following actions by Everson and Christian. In the match report related to the Atletico Mineiro player, the referee detailed that the keeper acted with brutality, in quotation marks, after being hit by the Cruzeiro midfielder. In his report, Kandanshan said, quote, after being fouled, he knocked down his opponent, charged at him, and brutally struck his opponent, number 88, in the face with his knee. I clarify that after this action, a general brawl broke out, making it impossible to issue a red card. Kandanshan indicates that it was Christian's actions that triggered the rest of it. Quote, for striking his opponent, number 22, in the head with his shin, using excessive force and high intensity when the ball was already in the goalkeeper's possession. I clarify that after this action, a general brawl broke out, making it impossible to show a red card. Referee used the same reason for justifying issuing a straight red to the players involved. Quote, sent off for punching and kicking his opponents during the brawl after the match ended, and it was not possible to show a red card due to the chaos. Evening OG. Cassia, and this is Cruzeiro. Cassier, Fagné, Fabricio Bruno, Jean Marcelo, Villalba, Cauaprates, Christian, Lucas Romero, Mateus Enrique, Wallace, Gerson, and Kyle George. Atletico Mineiro, Everson, Gabriel Delfim, Precious, Lianco, Ruan Trasoldi, Junior Alonso, Renan Lodi, Alan Franco, Alan Minda, Casiera, and Hulk. And Hulk was the one that was throwing a bunch of punches in the center circle. So you have the collision. Lucas Romero, so pushes opponent, sits down both knees. So Cruzeiro players see the scene, rush toward the keeper that starts the general brawl. So the keeper dives for the ball. Player kind of does a swan dive up and over the top. Keeper pins him down with his knees on the surface. So literally the knees of the keeper are here, and he's trying to push him down, but he ends up sliding off the player, and then everything is on at that point. Cruzeiro players, basically every Cruzeiro player known to mankind, and some even wearing pennies, rush to the net. And so here's how Globo breaks it down. Lucas Romero delivered a flying kick to Everson, who'd already been hit by Mateus Enrique. Shortly after, Christian punched Lianco, but received a flying kick from Junior Alonso. Casio also tried to go after defender Lianco, but was restrained. The Atletico defender then exchanged punches with Gerson on the field and received a kick from the Cruzeiro goalkeeper. Afterwards, Lucas Romero also punched the defender. The striker Hulk was also a protagonist in the fight. He took some flying kicks from defender Lucas Villalba, retaliated with punches, and also kicked midfielder Lucas Romero. Villalba then exchanged blows with Renan Lodi. At another point, he was punched by Everson. In the same scene, Cruzeiro's defender João Marcelo punched an Atletico attacker but was then assaulted by Preciado. At another point, Junior Alonso punched midfielder Wallace in the face. shortly after he was knocked down and also kicked by Caio Jorge. The Cruzeiro striker also exchanged blows with Gabriel Delfim. Fullback Fagner also got involved and participated in the fight with the goalkeeper. Security personnel from the teams and military police were called in to try to break up the fight. Mateus Kandanshan requested police protection amidst the chaos. After tempers cooled, the match was ended without the referee sending off any players on the field, and then retroactively gave 23 reds. So Hulk apologizes for the fight after the fact. And according to him, referee Mateus Delgado Kandanshan from Sao Paulo lacked composure. Seems to be a theme here on Mondays. So Hulk was asked about it after the match. Quote, "What happened? I told the referee from the beginning of the game that things were going to go wrong. He lacked character. If he has to send off 1, 2, 3 players, he should send them off. He was afraid to referee the final, but he has no personality." And this is translated from Globo. Match will stop for more than 10 minutes with 30 seconds remaining in stoppage time. Quote, "I don't recall participating in any act of violence in a football match. I will never tire of apologizing. We try to calm things down, but when your blood is hot, you see a teammate being attacked, and you automatically react, but it could have been avoided." Hulk was in the fight. Video's out there. It's chaos. It's amazing. And there it is. So we bring in Jarrett. An opening kickoff brought to us by 23 red cards.
As God intended.
Yes. So,
I think my biggest beef with this entire thing, one of the beefs for which there are many,
yes.
It's the constant plague of engagement farming bullshit on social media that doesn't know how to do 5 seconds of research because it's more important to get the likes and to throw an emoji onto trash.
Yes.
Stay trash, produce trash, just be trash.
Mm-hmm.
No, this wasn't a record. If you've ever listened to this program, you probably know that this wasn't a record. Because we've talked numerous times, especially during like, I don't know, season 0.5
Sure.
of soccer over there, way back in the day, before the world shut down. Glapole in Argentina took part in a game upon which there were over 30 red cards. Everybody got sent off, and their mama got sent off, and their cousin.
Yes. So,
anyway, everyone sucks.
Yes. It's so literally you have 23 reds. Dude didn't give any reds in the match. 10 minutes worth of delay. And then everybody just kind of, is like, y'all get out, plays the final 30 seconds, and then retroactively gives 23 reds. It's like, no one's there. And he just goes, I guess he just wandered over to the locker room or something and just kind of went bang to the locker room on the whole. But yeah, 23 red cards, and it was not the record.
Yeah, it's still funny. Like,
that's no question.
It's still an absurd amount of red cards. Hulk still did like the Roman Reigns Superman punch the back of the guy's head and gave him a welt too. I know y'all saw the back of his head. Hulk connected. Like in a serious way.
True.
That was something else. That being said, like, kind of overshadows, I guess, the insanity of the game itself. Yeah. Especially when everyone just starts throwing hands. That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely true. And then speaking of stupidity, we really kind of need to go here just to get your opinions on it. PA Media, as of 3:00 this afternoon, headline: Police chief says big old firm away presence not sustainable after cup clashes. The First Minister decries severe danger, in quotation marks, after the quarterfinal. Ban on away fans for Glasgow clashes to be revisited. And so from PA Media, quote, large numbers of away supporters in games between Rangers and Celtic have been called unsafe by the police officer in charge of investigating Sunday's Ibrox trouble incident.
No shit.
By Scotland's First Minister, John Swinney, as, quote, completely and utterly unacceptable. On-field clashes after Celtics' Scottish Cup quarterfinal triumph on penalties appear to have ended any hopes of traditional allocations returning to the Glasgow Derby fixture on a regular basis for the foreseeable future. 7,500 fans inside Ibrox for the first time since 2018. Dozens spilled onto the pitch to celebrate their shootout triumph. More than 100 Rangers fans also invaded the pitch and charged towards the Broomloan stand. Several police officers, stewards, and members of the public were injured, and 9 arrests have been made inside 24 hours with, quote, significantly, end quote, more expected. Ugh.
Yeah.
Away allocations
First of all,
veered from 750 to an absence to 2,500. But Scottish Cup rules state away clubs can claim up to 20% of tickets, and a deal was reached after input from the SFA. And so Superintendent Emma Croft believes the allocation had an impact on the trouble. Yeah? You think? And the general disdain for both of these folks to one another?
I mean, we don't have to rehash it. The old firm has always been very intense.
Mm-hmm.
It's been plagued by sectarian violence for years. And even like that kind of toxic rivalry where like people hate each other and they don't really understand why, that kind of thing too. Pettiness is one thing. Throwing things at people and wanting to start fights in the streets, an entirely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just dumb. Also, the game was bad. It was 120 minutes. I don't even think Celtic had a shot on goal. I think the first shot on goal was in penalties.
God.
It was bad, and the reaction from the fans was pathetic. If there is a God, be he Protestant or Catholic, be he a Rangers fan or a Celtic fan, if there is one, he will make sure that Celtic gets embarrassed by Falkirk in the semifinal. The best thing that happened was that this game took place when it did, because then we got them on the same side of the bracket. They had to play each other. They had to run into each other. They didn't get to play in the final, which is so often the case between these two teams. We should always make them meet in at least the quarterfinal, if not earlier. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
If you really want to like poke the bear, you can make fun of the Union Bears Rangers for like losing to a genuinely terrible Celtic team, and not being able to break through all the way. They did score in the 100th minute, but it was ruled out for a handball, which was correctly done. But it always makes me go back, and I'm reminded of Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black. An individual is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. And when you get them in a very sectioned off, in this case, sectarian environment where they have liquid courage running through their veins and they are with their friends who are going to be encouraging each other and creating this feedback loop of stupidity on both sides, eventually it's going to collapse.
Yes.
And then it's going to turn into an issue. And congratulations, Scotland. That's what you have. It's basically what you're known for at this point. The only hope you have right now is that Hearts hold on and win the league, because that'd be genuinely hilarious to see Celtic flail and fail at 10 in a row again, but this time not because of Rangers, but because of Hearts.
Yes.
Give it to me and put it straight in my lungs. Everyone should be embarrassed. I know the players were like trying to get off the field in a lot of ways. Yeah, like I say, if you want to like poke at Rangers, like you couldn't beat this Celtic team. That's tragic. Kind of is. But nothing excuses the stupidity, and we talk about it in other leagues, we talk about it in other countries around the world. Is you don't need to go on the field and start doing stupid stuff. You don't need to be a jackass. No. And just because you're there with a bunch of buddies, look, we've gone over this before, John, and I know you've gone over it, especially at the lower levels, because I think the stadium's like, it's 2026. They have the technology to identify you.
Yes.
Like, they're not just going to like, we had a bunch of people getting fights. Like, they can identify you.
Yes.
They can freeze frame and look at you and go, that's Wilfred Jenkins.
Uh-huh.
Down on Shiplap Way.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to Wilfred's house and let's pay him a visit.
Hey, bruh.
This isn't like this isn't the 1920s. You're not going to get involved in a hootenanny and walk away from it.
Flash! There was a fight. Punches were thrown. Marcus of Queensbury rules were ignored. Speaking of Scotland right now, Hearts, how many matches
Yeah.
before we go to the split?
Oh God, I think we're almost there.
29. We've gone through 29 match weeks.
Yeah, I think we got one more.
Okay.
One or two more. I haven't looked at it in the last week. This is like the first week in a while I haven't either been traveling or sick, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Right now, it is 5 points clear after 29 match weeks, and it is 63 points to 58. Celtics at 58 points. Rangers have drawn 12 times this year.
Yes,
I mean,
they were a tire fire, man.
And they have not lost in their last 5, but they've drawn 2 in a row. They're at 57 points. Motherwell is 4 points back of them at 53. Then you've got the second chase group, which, if there's, 2 matches to go before, or 1 or 2 before we get to the split, Hibs is at 46. Falkirk is at 42. And then it's a clear delineation between that and the lower half, because Dundee United is at 33. Dundee FC is unbeaten in 4, and they're up to 31 points.
The funniest thing would be a Celtic didn't finish second or third, but fourth.
See.
Well, my favorite part was like the other day, Celtic fans and this isn't a full representation of everybody, obviously, but some Celtic fans been like, "What if we'd have kept Wilfred Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
What if you had?"
Yes.
Because Martin O'Neill took back over. Martin O'Neill, when he was winning games,
mm-hmm.
they were ugly, and none of the. And I know we have a love-hate relationship with advanced metrics, but none of the numbers liked those wins. And when I say that, I mean they were scoring unsustainable goals. They were not going to keep posting clean sheets like that.
Yeah.
They had a run of luck, which is fine. You don't apologize for luck, John.
No. Mm-mm.
But you also acknowledge that we're kind of in a lucky form right now and in a nice spot of the schedule, and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
And when you moved on from him to Wilfred Nancy, it looked better, but the results weren't there. Then we went back to Martin O'Neill. It went back to looking bad, and the results stopped. The well dried up because the well was not permanent, and I think even he knew that.
Yeah.
So, in a perfect, funny world, Celtic finished 4th. Don't know if that happens. It'd be funny. Let Hearts win the league. I want to see everybody get mad.
Absolutely. Second best defense in the league. Motherwell have given up 20 and 29, and Hearts have given up 24. Rangers have given up 25. With the two Dundees who tried to beat the ish out of each other a couple of match weeks ago, in 7th and 8th, it is a 12 team top flight in Scotland. I've gone through the first 8 teams. There's someone I have yet to mention.
Oh, talk about one of the. I think one of the only teams that hasn't been relegated.
Aberdeen
at any
is
point in their history.
Aberdeen is in 9th. They have only 1 point in their last 5 matches.
Aberdeen has been wandering in the darkness since they fired Derek McInnes.
Well, frankly, since they screwed over.
Well, no, that was before they hired Stephen Glass. That's where I'm getting to. Derek McInnes did win trophies. They have been wandering in the darkness through then because they brought in Stephen Glass. He lasted a year. They started to kind of remake the team the way he wanted, which was radically different from the way Derek McInnes plays.
Yes.
Then they did an about face, had brought in players to fit that, then did an about face to play in more of a defensive style. Didn't have the players to do that. And they've just kind of been yo-yoing back and forth between styles, not really sure what they want to do. This isn't like a team that is hiring managers that fit a philosophy and going through different managers. This is not we hired Gabriel Heinze, then Gonzalo Pineda, and then Ronnie Diala, guys who are aggressive and want to be aggressive. Like this is like a team that can't decide what they want to be, which in terms of your transfer strategy is somehow even worse.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's bad. And Jimmy Talon, who won the Leagues Cup last year, or won the Scottish Cup, one of them. He won either the Mars Bar Cup or the actual Scottish Cup. I forget which
Okay.
one. Beat Celtic in the final, and that was good and all. And it bought him basically like 4 months, and then he got fired early on this year, just because it's just they've been wandering in the darkness, and I don't know how they fix that. Their new director of football is oh my God, what was his name at SKC? He was at City.
Lutz.
Lutz, yes. Who used to be the general manager at St. Louis.
City.
Thank you very much.
SC.
Look, it's a bit of soft toss, but the toss was a little behind him and low. But John waited, kept his hands inside, took it the other way. I appreciate that.
Yep.
But the you have the former general manager there running things, and
Penguins away from Lutz Pfannenstiel.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, this is a man who once got in trouble for smuggling penguins. I'm not joking. This isn't a Mad Lib.
Not joking.
Got in trouble for smuggling penguins.
Not joking.
We've not told jokes here. They're wandering in the darkness, John. It's not a good time up at Aberdeen, which is tricky because those are hardy, industrious people.
Yes.
Up on the northern shore of the North Sea.
Oh, boy.
Bunch of oil rig workers, bunch of blue collar money, oil folks who are very proud, and it is not going well.
No. It is 33 matches, so there are 4 matches left before they do the split.
Beautiful. Guys, and God intended.
1 through 6.
Chosen format.
Yes. 1 through 6. Play 5 in the top 6. 7 through 12. Play 5 in the bottom 6, and that gets you to your 38 game schedule. And barring 14 points in 4 matches and Falkirk doing virtually nothing, Aberdeen is going to be in the bottom half of the split going into the final 5 matches of the season.
It's a non-zero chance. They're going to be fighting for a relegation battle. I don't think they'll drop all the way. They're not going to drop below Livingston.
No, Livingston's at 14 points. They've won once in 29.
Yeah, don't worry. You're not Livingston. You'll be fine.
You're good there.
But they will be there's non-zero chance that if they don't get their wagon in gear that they'll be playing in a relegation match, because Scotland is one of those where the bottom team gets relegated, and then if you didn't finish bottom but you finish down there, you get to fight for your life. So
yes.
Yay.
Yes. So that is the current rundown with everything going on in SPFL over there, and it is it is beyond ugly in various things, and you end up with the fugly mess that it is, and you get to figure that out with what's going on. FA Cup's down to the final 8. Donga Watara. West Ham, it's a 5-3 penalty shootout win in the FA Cup in the 5th round, 2-2 draw after extra time. So West Ham is through. Watara fluffed a Panenka. And so that means that now we know what the final 8 is. And Port Vale gets to visit Chelsea in the quarterfinals. 8 points adrift at the bottom of the table in League One. Lowest ranked team left in the competition. Make it through to the quarters for the first time since 1954. And Chelsea beat Wrexham. Wrexham got a red in 90+3 after they had a 1-0 lead and a 2-1 lead. Chelsea came back to tie it twice. Red card for Wrexham in 90+3. And so then they had to play the extra 30 down a man, 4-2 final. Arsenal beats Mansfield Town, and they're going to head to Southampton, who won 1-0 at Fulham. Manchester City, 3-1 winners at Newcastle. Sorry, Alex. At home against Liverpool, who knocked off Wolves in the 5th round. And so West Ham gets Leeds, and they beat Norwich 3-0 on Sunday. Quarterfinals played around the weekend of April the 4th. But Port Vale and Chelsea, you've made it through. First time since 1954, and you get Chelsea. Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, but wouldn't it just be so Chelsea
Oh my God.
to be that team?
Yes.
Sorry, Michael.
Yeah, and I would enjoy it.
It's not a personal thing. It's just like
No.
it's just like, but now we're into that area where like, we have these really good teams. Chelsea can absolutely, cause some havoc and win this thing. Also Chelsea's occasional bout of schizophrenia
Yes.
can pop up at the worst of times.
Especially when they bring in like their quote unquote B squad. They bring in the B side.
Oh no, you bring the A squad in for this.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be great.
No, as far as I'm really, okay, John, is Chelsea going to win the league?
Doubtful unless Arsenal completely and totally just drools all over themselves.
Where are they on the table? Sorry.
Let's effort this. So hang on just a second, because it was a weekend off for the Prem, for the FA Cup, so they could get things going. Chelsea is 19 back with 9 to go.
Yeah, they're not getting there.
No.
Like 5th place, great, and you're in a European spot.
Right. And you're then shouting because
you're square with Liverpool in a European spot. This is dicey.
Yes. And United
is dicey.
Villa are 3 points ahead of you.
What? And this is a question, I guess, more so for the Chelsea people. What matters more,
finishing
that European spot, or would you rather lift the FA Cup?
I think. Ooh, that's a good one.
Because that's money you're leaving on the table if you don't make Europe. That's why I say that.
Yes. So, I mean, literally right now, Manchester United and Villa are at 51. They're in your other 2 European spots at the moment. Yeah. Chelsea is at 48. They have 10 goals on goal difference over Liverpool. They're in the Europa League spot. And then you got to figure out if it's going to be 6 or 7 that are going to go 2 more. It might be 1 more to Europa and 1 more to conference, or it might be 1 to conference depending on qualifiers and such.
Yeah. It's just, how much do you value one over the other? And I can't speak to it. I'm not a fan.
No.
I don't have to go through this trauma. That's someone else's job.
Yes.
But that would be my question, was like, if you had to favor one over the other, like when it comes down to it, like if I can get through, because this is the quarterfinals right now.
Round of 8. Yeah. Yep.
It is. Port Vale's beatable for you. Very beatable. Good evening, David. We talk about this in Open Cup. Like if I got a favorable matchup, I'm gonna like. Do I pull out the magnifying glass for the anthill, or do I use the boot?
Yeah.
And maybe you hedge your bets, but man, you got a really favorable round of 8 matchup to get to a semifinal. Because then you win that, and you're in a winner take all. How much does the FA Cup matter versus getting into Europe next year if you're having to fight with Liverpool? Because you're not going to catch Arsenal at the top.
You're probably not going to catch City. That's 12 points there. Arsenal is 19 points, and so technically, if you win your next, you're 16 back because you've got a match in hand on Arsenal. Arsenal has 8 to go. So City is 7 back, match in hand.
Yeah.
United and Villa are at 51 points, and so Chelsea and Liverpool probably fighting with United and Villa, trying to figure out the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6.
Yeah, and so like you'll at least get Conference League. I would figure, even if you like finish at the bottom of that. Yeah, I would be really tempted to just go all in on the FA Cup and walk away with some hardware this year.
Yeah, I think that would be that would be the that'd be the fun part with that. Okay, so picks of the week once again. Picks of the week, top of the hour. And so we will find our research, and Soccer for Good OG has gone into SofaScore and looked up African matchups that we don't have on Odds Portal. For the record, just to give a bit of a preview, even with a free game last week, I still ended up at -90. I was 3-5.
Okay.
and went 200% over on the tiebreaker and still ended up at minus 90 on the week. So you probably won by not playing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was last week was our recovery week. So, anyway, we're here
Yes.
tonight. We're here
Yes.
to.
Mhm.
I need to update the board too, because I have been keeping a map of where we have visited this year.
Yes.
Um, and I need to update it, and I will post it for everybody.
Yes.
Just
So
we need to diversify our locations going into.
yes, and that's what I try to do, knowing that this map
Yeah, no,
exists.
you're good.
I mean, Costa Rica, Chile, Bulgaria, Belgium, and France.
Africa and Eastern Europe are really easy to gloss over too.
Mhm.
So
Yes. Um, I know that this is outside the purview of soccer over there, but since it was kind of a breaking news story this afternoon, I figured I'd include it. Um, Major League Soccer announces today that it has given Derek Jones and Yaya Boa lifetime bans for extensive gambling, including on games involving their own teams. In one instance, the pair won a bet that Jones would receive a yellow card. MLS said
this is
it.
the soccer version of, by the way, what Manuel Casse was doing in
Mhm.
Cleveland and
Yeah,
just got banned.
yeah. MLS said it had received suspicious betting alerts in quotation marks and retained a law firm to investigate. Players were placed on administrative leave in late October of 25 as the review ran its course.
Yeah.
Eventually, the investigation found both players betted on soccer extensively throughout the 24 and 25 seasons, including on their own teams. The league said, quote, in one instance, both players bet on Jones to draw a yellow card during a 19 October 2024 match, which he received. Yaboa and Jones overlapped for one season in Columbus in 24. Jones stayed with Crew for 25. Yaboa went to LAFC, 17 appearances. Mutually agreed to cancel his contract with LAFC in January, now plays in China. Jones was born in Ghana, immigrated to the U.S. as a teenager. Philly, Nashville, Dynamo, Charlotte, Columbus. Yaboa, graduate of the Right to Dream Academy, originally from Ghana, Manchester City, on loan to a bunch of sides, Wisla Krakow, and transferred to the Crew. He was one of the best left wing backs in the league, MLS Cup in Columbus in 23. And in 2021, MLS suspended sporting midfielder Felipe for betting on games, terminated his contract in 2024 after he violated league gambling policies a second time.
This entire thing that John is talking about, this wall of text, these updates, all of this
Mm-hmm.
brought to you by DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by Kalshi, brought to you by FanDuel, brought to you by, I don't know, MGM Sports Betting.
Mm-hmm.
All of the leagues at this point are in bed with sports betting,
Mm-hmm.
and are cool with it, and until one of the players does the thing that is literally surrounding them constantly.
Yes.
First of all, this is kind of, I guess for me,
Mhm.
John, this is kind of like the whole the old thing where like a pitcher gets popped for using a foreign substance on the mound. If you're dumb enough to get caught, then my sympathy wanes very
Joe
quickly.
Negro with the file in his pants.
The best too, because if you've never seen the Joe Negro one, go look it up. Because Joe Negro has the file in his back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
He's guilty of sin, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Negro, they're like the umpires come out there with the other manager. They tell him like empty your pockets, and he puts his hands in his back pockets and then flings them out and tries to send the nail file flying off into East Jesus, and it proceeds to fly out in the air incredibly visually
Mm-hmm.
and land on the ground. And the umpire just looks at him, looks at the nail file, picks it up, and throws him out.
Mm-hmm.
But like my favorite ones were like that one. Pinedo when he was with the Yankees, Will Smith when he was with the Brewers in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
like threw a temper tantrum because the Braves like had the umpire go out and check him, and he had a foreign substance. It was like on his forearm. It was on his catching forearm, so he could go to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so bright and obvious. You could see it on the broadcast, not even on the up close shot. You could see it from like center field camera. It was incredibly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. everybody's doing something to gain some sort of competitive advantage. It's the same reason why I'm a firm believer that Barry Bonds should be, as long as Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Like all
Tacitly
those guys.
behavior.
Hmm?
Tacitly endorsing the behavior.
Yeah, you'll never convince me, ever in a million years, will you convince me that Bud Selig did not know what was going on with McGuire, with Sosa, with Clemens, with Bonds. Hell, Brady Anderson hitting 50 some odd home runs
Brett
one
Boone.
year. Yeah, Brett Boone, who like looked like Popeye.
Mhm.
Marcus Giles, to wit, looked like Popeye, hitting like 54 doubles for the Braves.
Yeah.
You'll never convince me that they did not know what was happening.
Mhm.
That's separate from sports gambling, obviously. Although
That's-
I knew an old head from Cincinnati who swore by Pete Rose and always said like he wanted Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because Pete Rose gambled, but he never bet against his team. He always bet on the Reds.
And
He
he wasn't even good at it.
No.
I was the guy when the Dowd report came out that I actually downloaded the Dowd report and burned it to a disk. So I would have a copy of the Dowd report. Pete Rose was one of the worst professional gamblers ever. Barely break even. He was on the minus side, and that included betting on his own team. How bad a bettor do you have to be to bet as you did in your sport, on your team, and still end up on the minus side of the whole proposition? That takes some special doing. And I was cleaning out my desk, oh God, a couple months ago, and I actually found that.
Did you burn it to like a
I'll burn it to like one of the short 3-inch floppies.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he was not a good gambler at all. Not a good gambler at all. And like I said, it included doing his own thing. But circling back, Derek James, Yayaboa, suspended banned for life. Banned for
you cannot do this stuff, but also it's so dumb that we're in this situation where all the leagues are in bed with gambling companies and predictive marketing, predictive betting, like Kalshi stuff. Like that's an entirely different kettle of fish because that ultimately relies on inside information that tips the scales of the entire thing. Which was the first thing I thought of when all this happened was like, they've been banned for life for this, and all I could, oh Jesus Christ, power of Paulding compels you. Welcome to Paulding County down here. All I could think about was when the word came down that they are banned for life for gambling. Someone had to know this was coming from the league office. I need to know. Has anyone checked to see if someone went on Kalshi and put a predictive wager that a ruling on this would come down today?
You did a predictor
because that would be the most on-brand, stupid, magical MLS thing possible.
But yes, Nick, we kind of went off the page a little bit because of the.
I'm mad about sports gambling.
Lifetime ban of Derek Jones and Yayaboa from Major League Soccer this afternoon.
Okay, I mean that's valid.
Yeah, there's a breaking news story. It happened this afternoon.
It's the integrity of the game, right?
Mad we're all eating dinner. This is amazing.
Yeah. Well,
what do you have, John?
Well, for the moment, I took the more fingery of the items. So I have my tater tots that are well, I couldn't say ambulatory because it didn't work. Because I have
how worse.
I have a salad upstairs, and then I also have a side of tater tots, and so I went with the tater tots, and so because they were easier to grab in a shortened situation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did a did a rice bowl with air fried soy salmon, pickled cucumbers and radishes,
Damn,
and a slaw.
that's a lot of healthy
Soy
shit.
salmon in the air fryer is really underrated.
It's 8 minutes on that thing at 390 and just go do something else.
Yeah.
Come back and my life is better.
And it's not overcooked. It's ready to go. It's that's been a lifesaver a few times. The rice bowl with the soy salmon and all that.
Yes, John is drowning his No Magic City Night sorrows.
Mhm.
Well, okay, I'll get to that in a minute. But for the gambling, you know, I am perfectly 100% okay with the lifetime bans for gambling because I as even though I am I believe everything's professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And I believe the fix is always in.
Right.
You can't get caught.
It's always a work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a work. Everything's a work. You cannot get caught. If you're stupid enough to get caught, you deserve to get banned. You know, especially something as stupid as yellow cards.
I mean,
That's easily tracked.
It is so easy.
Right. It's not like in the fifth your ass goes down, right? I mean, like that's you took a clean shot. You hit the deck. I don't know. I may have made 250 million off of that, but it's cards. They track these things, and it's easy to say, well, there's a huge money line shift in this game or this game on the on something like the yellow cards. Of course, they're going to start putting 2 and 2 together. If you're that dumb, you deserve to get caught. You deserve to get thrown out. Magic City Night. This league deserves a better class of criminal. Okay. You want Atlanta. You want the vibes of Atlanta. You want the energy of Atlanta. But when Atlanta does Atlanta things, suddenly, oh no.
And it was approved apparently at the league level. And now all of a sudden the furor has us now going to bootleg apparel places to try to get the Magic City gear now, like me.
Well, if you prepaid for the gear, Atlanta is honoring that, and they'll get you the hoodie. That hoodie is gonna pop up on eBay though,
so quick.
Like if you've got one and you happen to if you're a millennial or a Gen Alpha or Gen Z, and you need a down payment on a house so that you're not renting for the rest of your life, pop that hoodie up there on eBay.
Yep. Look, all I'm saying is don't take yourself to Linux in that thing.
No.
Oh God.
No.
Don't take yourself to Linux. Don't take yourself to Underground.
Nope.
Don't take yourself
Greenbrier.
Don't. It's not a fashion flex for you. You wear that. You wear that in social media posts like near your house. Like you don't
undisclosed location.
That.
Yeah.
We need operational security here. We need OPSEC to be on point.
Yes. You put in a false locator.
I'm not wearing that thing to a Hawks game.
No.
Like, I mean, look, respect anybody that does. I'm just not. I'm not wearing that thing to a Hawks game, man. Like, I'm worried for my safety.
I just have issue with the fact that we allowed Al Horford and whoever what's his bum
Luke Cornett.
Okay, yeah, Luke Cornett. Okay, great.
He's going to need the Bill Goldberg level of security the next time he comes into.
Yes, he is, and he's going to say, "Well, I just was trying to do it for the families. Oh, it's all for the families."
This is a league that advertises players who have domestic violence violations on their tag, and the whole damn thing is broadcast locally on FanDuel Network.
Oh yeah,
we've just selectively picked which vices we don't want,
which is now fallen down gone boom. So
don't sit there and tell me about it wasn't good for the families, but compulsive gambling. Here's the thing: Magic City does not put any money directly into the NBA, but the gambling sites sure do.
Secondary or tertiary contributor to the NBA economy, though.
It's like that. It's like that viral video with the African politician who was like, I have no I'm against all forms of corruption unless it involves me.
See?
And then nothing is wrong,
Mhm.
right? Then I'm completely
As he
for
sits there,
corruption.
as he sits there and takes the fan of the 10 grand in Hundies, and he's going like
I
this.
mean, just don't sit there and for these players to sit there, me. Okay, we should be allowed to have things for adults. We should.
Mhm.
Okay, the world. I'm not getting political here. The world's on a razor's edge at the moment, figuratively and literally. You have madness all over globally. Everyone's losing their minds. We're 2 steps short of Mad Max. Let us have Magic City night. Okay?
I mean,
And you know what? How many games are there in an NBA season?
a lot.
Keep
80.
your kids at home. One game. One game. Let the grown folks have some fun. This is so ridiculous. Do I go to Magic City on the reg? No. Have I had their wings? Yes. They are as advertised.
Apparently, they're going to be wings at the game either way.
Yes. Mhm.
Delicious. And if you want to go and you want to do your, everyone needs to follow my religious footsteps drumbeat. There's great, amazing. I'm so happy for you over there. Don't sit there and try to put that mess on me, and don't try to put it on anyone else. Don't tell me this is all for the families and whatnot. And it's compulsive gambling does far more harm per capita than Magic City does. Okay? So take your finger
City-
wagging elsewhere. I'm not interested in hearing it.
Magic City is an economic engine, whether folks choose to believe it or not.
And a lot of those, and Al Horford's teammates, where do you think they're going to be when they come to town?
Where Al Horford recommends they go.
One of the greatest physiological feats every year for the last decade and a half has been that some guys come here and get the buckhead flu. Still
Yeah.
play with.
Uh-huh. That is true.
James Harden consistently goes out, puts the pedal down, tapes it down, pours quick read over it to keep it taped down, and still goes out and puts up 45 points. The greatest physiological performance every year is James Harden going out, probably sweating all sorts of liquors, and still putting up like 45 points. And it's just beautiful to watch, and it makes no sense.
And I'm going to go back to the what was it? The election of was it 24? Like the last big one. It's been
Yeah. 24, and you're in the midterms now, and 28's the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so it was the one before that where they had Magic City. The dancers put together a video explaining why it was important to vote. And they were like, there's a lot of, they had the poll. They were like, there's a lot of stuff on the ballot this year that you should care about. I guarantee you they did more for democracy, okay, than any of the gambling sites have done, okay? They are not raiding your house. There's not Magic City pirate crew that's rolling up on your house to pillage, okay? Do not pillage me. No. You throw your money at her up on the stage right now this minute, or you're walking the plank. That doesn't happen. No one shows up at your house and demands at knife point that you throw money at the dancers. Okay? It's a place of entertainment I guarantee if you have been to any club in your 20s, you finger waving folk. I'm trying to be really nice because it's Lent and I'm trying to change my ways on some things.
Whoa.
The attempt is there.
It's just till Easter. Just let him have it.
It's just till Easter.
All right.
My Presbyterian days are behind me, which is why I'm drinking Beehive Jackrabbit Gin and lime juice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But if you are at home finger waving, I want you to go back in your little DeLorean, the DeLorean in your mind, to your club days.
Sounds like a song.
And how many times you were out on a floor dancing, shaking, doing whatever. I guarantee you, all right, if it was north of like 87 beats per minute. That song went through Magic City and was approved. That place has shaped more music culture, especially in the hip hop world, than any other place. They make the beats go round. In Atlanta, if we want to celebrate that spot, Atlanta United did. They took their trophy there when they
Broke the
won.
trophy there.
Yeah.
Broke the trophy there. I mean,
You think Magic City ain't gonna have a time during the World Cup?
Oh my God. Magic City is gonna that
You got
place.
Uzbekistan staying in Atlanta, man.
It is gonna be raps. It's
Uh-huh.
gonna be raps. You're gonna have people coming up there. They're gonna have like SEAL Team 6 come and remove the cash deposits every night.
Now we going
Because
tier
that
one.
place is gonna be
They're
bumping.
gonna have some. They're going some tier one Delta Force operatives that they don't acknowledge the existence of.
Yes, it's gonna have like you're like, is that a UFO over Magic City? No,
False-
that is like
false
Delta
exits in
Squad
the
9
floor.
going to get the cash out.
We're gonna have people visiting from. I hope that we have people visiting from Uzbekistan who get to
Yes.
experience Magic City.
Yes.
That
Don't
would be amazing.
don't sit there and pull the holier than thou card and talk about maybe you should do this, a family event. No, it is. Give the grown folks something. Grown folks have to sit there and look at the news every day. Give the grown folks something.
I will say this because Nick, you worked for organizations in the past.
Yes.
Multiple sports organizations in the past.
Yes.
I want to make it. I want to make sure it's clear that y'all like. It wouldn't have gotten this far if the NBA hadn't said yes in the first place. Like, they like what was old boy Coonan, who's the CEO of the Hawks, went on radio, talked about it. Like they approved the hoodie design.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're an NBA team, you're not doing a promotion without getting approval from the league. You're not just going to YOLO this without the league's approval.
I mean,
so that it would not have gotten this far if the league had not been like, yeah, sure, man, this is approved. Like, if the league had said, oh, hold on, we can't do this at the outset, then you never get a promotion out of it. It probably dies on the vine and never.
Yeah.
And
never
you
generates excitement.
might hear a story about it. Hey, did you hear what almost happened?
The Hawks tried to do this, like, oh, that sucks. They didn't let them, but then it moves on.
And here's one thing: Steve Coonan was once one of the bigwigs over at Turner. So TNT, name it, right? I mean, he was a bigwig over there. So he knows about working with media partners, he knows about working with advertisers, and he knows about reaching audiences. There's no way in the world, I refuse to believe, there's no way in the world that this was not ran by media members. This was not the media partners, rather. This was not ran by advertisers. This was not ran by the people of billable hours to ensure that this could be done. But nope. The Chicken Littles of the world, no fun allowed.
No, that's the football league. That's the Shield.
Well, all I'm saying is, let the grown folks have something. We have to deal with all this other mess in the world. Let us have something. And if your kids can't go, I don't want my kids around anything that even says the words Magic and City, then one game you can go without.
I went to a Hawks game one time, and East Atlanta Santa was playing at said Hawks game at halftime. There were kids there.
I'm just saying.
Just putting it up.
It goes to soccer as well. Like, oh, I don't like this chant and that chant and all that. Look, man, I got 2 kids. I understand.
Hawks game and Jeezy was playing once. How do you think that went over?
When I take my kids out of the house to a sporting event, to a public event, no matter where it may be, I am aware that people around me don't go by the same rules and regulations that I go by, nor do I tell my kids, hey, everyone needs around you in your orbit needs to conform to what we believe? So somebody may have some salty language. Somebody may say some things like F this team, F that team.
David's talking about Bone Crusher playing the Georgia Dome in 2001.
I mean, yes. I mean, do you know what I tell my kids? Hey, kids, we don't say that. Okay, cool. Understood, Dad.
Mhm.
And we keep it moving. We have a great
Don't
time.
make
I
it
don't
a
sit there go,
thing.
I mean,
You'd be
good heavens.
amazed. You'd be amazed what happens when you don't make it a thing.
Yes. It's the same thing on social media. If it doesn't apply, scroll on by. I feel morally and ethically compelled to respond. Just scroll on by. Your social battery, your life energy, you'll be shocked at how much you have at the end of the day if you just scroll by. If you just let it go. Let it go.
you want to have that happen in your lifetime? You want to have that go down?
Good Lord.
I mean,
I'm just Atlanta is Atlanta.
What if Magic City has a Hawks night?
See,
That I mean,
Do you like the for those of you that remember, you'll know this. But the old days where they used to fly a plane above Turner Field and you could get in for free with your Braves ticket to the Cheetah.
Mhm.
Do that.
do you know how many? Look, I have no problems saying this now. There was a time
There was a time.
There was a time.
when y'all could see me in that spot on the reg. On the reg.
Mhm.
There there was a bar on the backside of Mid City Lofts.
Backside.
I'm trying to remember the name of the
If I had
it's changed names a couple of
I would
times.
just be playing fills for this right now.
Yeah.
But you would pregame at the bar behind Mid City Lofts, and then you would work your way right on down. And it was Ric Flair.
Oh, see.
Bright lights, big city,
Amen,
pretty
brother.
ladies,
Mhm.
nature boy.
Nature boy.
Now, I'm as you may see, I'm somewhat advanced in my years now.
Yeah, but you're styling and profiling, and you're lifting 290, and other folks ain't hitting the gym with you.
Look, I'm just saying, we do things.
Makes you feel
But-
better. I literally have two hand weights next to me that I use during phone calls at work.
Look, I
You
find
time to
different
get it
ways
in.
to occupy my time. Now I go and I put 270 on the hex and I deadlift that and I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape now, and I have more money in my bank account because I'm not going and doing things like going to the Cheetah on a Wednesday night.
I mean,
but I respect the fact that there are people who do.
yeah, let them do their thing.
And I welcome them into society.
It's like fam, it's your dollar. Do what you want.
I mean,
I'm not
I
gonna
did not care that they flew over sporting events.
green eggs and ham. No.
Hey, put David's message.
Which one?
That's
David's on a
perfect.
roll,
The
man.
first one. The new one.
The new one? Okay. Game over, Cheetah. My kid was 5. Someone said game over. She would instinctively say Cheetah because it was always said on the radio. She had no clue what it meant, but it's part of the city. It's part of the fabric, part of the framework.
If
Game
you
over.
live in Vegas,
Uh-huh.
that doesn't mean you're on the strip.
This is what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean
as someone who has recently driven through Vegas multiple times,
Mhm.
like there's a lot of like suburban Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot of way more than I ever thought there was.
But you understand that
Mhm.
you live in a city that is built around vice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
you understand. You may not.
Import-export industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may not.
You may
Hey,
not.
Coco, welcome. You picked a terrible or a great time, depending on how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But you understand your city's built on vice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you live in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
or Atlanta adjacent,
Mm-hmm.
you should know that your city is built on vice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not cool with that, there's the Avalon and Alpharetta waiting for you.
Hey, look, there's an Antico up there. I just want to say
There is. And look, I'm not saying that Avalon's bad. I'm just saying that your experiences may differ.
Yeah.
You know,
everything's
Experiences
changed so
differ
much,
person
man.
to
Like,
person.
even like the presence of Truist Park has changed Cumberland Mall. Like people walk around like
No doubt.
I'm sorry, it's Truist Park and the Apple Store. Those two things, like I was there earlier this year. Like people walking around Cumberland Mall like it ain't a thing. Like what the hell happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like my
Mm-mm.
life this is not the Cumberland Mall I grew up with.
No.
no.
Mm-mm.
My
Like,
last night
it's
working at
trying to be
Management
bougie.
Lids at Cumberland Mall, there was a shooting up in the food court.
It's called Tuesday, baby.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Like
like,
there
everyone
was
started streaming down the escalators and past me. And
yeah.
they were like, "You're gonna lock your store up?" I said, "Nope."
There was a stretch of time when I worked in traffic when every Christmas there was an annual Christmas shooting in the parking lot of Cumberland Mall. So
Yeah.
you knew what roads had to get shut down.
Rite of
Yes.
passage. You know, that's what's going to happen. Santas show up. There's always a shooting in the parking lot.
Look, man.
Yeah. Although
We're not asking for the bad old days.
No.
We're not asking for that. But what we're saying is that this city generally
Mhm.
has had no problem when the world looks at it and goes,
very weird city.
"This place, well, Atlanta's really cool, man. Yeah, Atlanta's really cool. Oh man, the music and art and there's some chaos. Yeah, really cool energy, man. Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
I you know, when my dad lived in New Jersey, uh, you know, they used to sell, and this is 95, right? So I mean, New York was still sort of New York. It wasn't sort of the corporate Disneyland with no gates that it is now. But I mean, they sold shirts that had, you know, like a 357 on the front that said it said New York, and you know, underneath, and it was like, you know, "We will shoot you," and it was like, I wore that like religiously. I wore that. I love that. But Atlanta is it is like what Atlanta on FX that Donald Glover put together. I tell everyone that's a documentary. You know, outside of the Helen episode may be the one that is kind of like a little like, but everything else, like if somebody said Michael Vick played in a tackle football game on the pavement outside of a strip club and somebody drove off in an invisible Lamborghini, I'd be like, "Yep,
Sure, happened.
Absolutely.
of course."
The most perfect I and it's because I vividly remember watching it with Oren Romain, one of the producers from 92.9. The one that will always stick with me is the episode with Cat Williams, which he should have won every Emmy known to mankind for that episode.
Yes.
When they called him Alligator Man, he lets an alligator out on his front lawn in
Yep.
what amounts to Decatur, and then goes sprinting out the back door down the street. I'm like, if you
Yep.
saw, if you were driving down an associated street and you saw that, you would not stop. You would
Nope.
not hesitate. You'd be like, okay, and you
No,
keep on going.
so on what is it? It's on is it Mean Street over at North Side, at North Side and Mean Street going over to like North Ave. There was a place called the Library, right?
Yeah.
And now it's I'm trying to remember what it is now, but so there was this club. It was very popular with the Georgia State, Georgia Tech crowd, but occasionally you get like, you know, like a little more of a hip hop edge to it, and they'd have artists come through and things like that. And I remember one time I pulled up, I parked my car, I'm walking up to the club, and this blacked out like Mercedes pulls up, the door opens, and this dude jumps out, and he's got an AR-15 in his
Whoa.
hand,
Look out.
and he
And
starts popping. And I look over to the left, and there's like 3 Atlanta PD firing back. And this is taking place within like less than 10 yards from where I am. And then dude just runs off. Well, one, I have a concern like, okay, who's doing the target practice training for these cops?
For real.
And you know, because it sort of played out like a Grand Theft Auto scene where no one's hitting each other and there's, And then two, I've got this 4-door Mercedes with
Every
beautiful
top
white
comment we
leather
gave you.
interior just running right in front of me. Like
Mhm.
just sitting there running.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's I mean, there's
Stormtrooper running.
no Atlanta story that someone could tell me that I wouldn't have to sit there for a moment and be like, well,
This is one of the reasons I'm so happy that Uzbekistan is the country that is basing in Atlanta.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
First of all, because Nick is going to be beside himself, and we're going to get great content out of it. But
Completely.
also because it's not a stereotypical Western European country,
Mm.
and we're actually going to get like a nice meshing of cultures, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And you're going to meet people whether they live here and they have interests, or whether they have traveled from around the damn planet. You're going to get to expose them to one of the weirdest cities in America. As Soccer for Good OG says, Atlanta is not a real place. She would know. She is from. She does have California in her blood. Like she's seen the world.
Mhm.
John has like Orange County in his blood.
Mhm.
He has seen the world. We get to expose that, for better or worse, to an entirely different culture. And at the same time, we get exposed to an entirely different culture, and we will all be better for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and one thing real quick before you transition, John.
Sure.
Uzbekistan's coming here.
Yes.
I understand they're being managed by the captain,
Mhm. That's
Fabio
true.
Cannavaro.
Yeah.
Okay. Respect
Absolutely.
will be paid.
Yeah.
And then two, let us as a weird ass city
Sure.
welcome
Oh, yes.
our equally weird brothers and sisters from across the globe. This far off place. They got the RLC that they're
Mhm.
trying to desperately fill back up so it's not some salt-ridden desert out in the middle of God's country universe.
Mhm.
Got one of those two over here, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're
Bunch of arsenic at
here.
the bottom of it.
Let's not let the Great Salt Lake just go empty. That would not be fun.
No,
But
it
let's
wouldn't.
welcome them. I
Mhm.
want speak. No, let's welcome Uzbekistan here, man. I want
Waffle
some
Waffle
descendants of
House.
Mongols out here running around kicking
mean,
Like, I
cans
wanted
over. Let's
Spain. I
go.
wanted England. No. I wanted the most absurd nation we could possibly get, so that we could expand our global horizons. Because
Yes.
what do you know, as the average person? This isn't directed towards anyone.
Yeah.
Like, what do most people know about any of those Western Asian countries, other than at one point they had to memorize them for a geography test?
What I saw on SCTV growing up about the dreaded Uzbeks. That's all I know.
Learning something new, baby.
Mhm. Absolutely
Let's
true.
go.
It is.
Do an exchange program. Go to Tashkent.
See? I mean, you could who would be the see now the two of you could be the next Nugzar Hadze and go to Uzbekistan. That's your
That's
Google.
not safe.
Look,
I mean,
look,
like it'd be a great it'd be a great like Anthony Bourdain tribute food channel thing, because we would just go around finding all the food.
you're damn right.
So
And
so there's a guy who I know sort of in our
orbit.
film community,
Mhm.
documentarian,
Mhm.
and he used to sneak because they have up in Kazakhstan, they have like the old Soviet space, like their version of Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, the launch site.
Yeah, their launch site was up there. And they store the old Soviet shuttles there still.
Oh wow.
And so this dude would go and I want to say would fly in to like Uzbekistan, or he like fly into Uzbekistan and then like go and then travel up into Kazakhstan and sneak into the facility where
Ooh.
they would have the Soviet like the Soviet shuttles. His name's Phil Grossman.
Mhm.
And he's Atlanta based, and that man has got a pair the size of the Death Star because he was telling me a story about how he had to hide because the guards were like doing patrols. So he pops out and taking pictures of all like this Soviet, like old Soviet gear and the Soviet space shuttle and all that. And then he leaves, and it's like he and his like whoever he's traveling with are like, hey, let's go see the RLC, dude. Wouldn't that be cool? And they go out there, and it's like legitimately Mad Max, like salt flat as far as you can go. And they were like, apparently they kept traveling, and they were kind of like, there's all these old shipwrecks and everything that are out there just rusting out in the sun. And he's like, how exactly are we going to get out of here? And he's like, I only had so much charge left on my sat phone. I was debating having to call the wife and be like, hey, honey, this may not have worked out in our favor. But yeah, he's been to like Chernobyl. Like if you saw the series Chernobyl on HBO, at the end of this series, when they show like the footage, like a ton of that footage is his. I mean, it is like, so that part of the world, man, has seen some really crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome,
yes.
Our Uzbek fam.
Yes, absolutely.
I have discovered that the most successful club in the Uzbek Premier League is Pakstakor, which is the cotton makers, and their crest is literally just a puffball of cotton.
Well, I mean that's functional. I understand that. It's an homage.
Let's go.
It is an absolute homage. So, oh, by the way.
Oh man.
What are you doing?
I love that horn section. I absolutely love that horn section. The boss wandered into Nick's studio recording.
Yes, the Supreme Leader, gentlemen.
Yes, well, but there's nothing wrong with
correct.
That's
It's not the boss, it's the Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. We got 42 minutes and 8 games and a tiebreaker to determine here. So, by the way, last week
we don't all abide by democracy. Some of us.
No, absolutely not. No. By the way, last week, yours truly punched a minus 90. Went 3-5, punched a minus 90.
Okay.
And doubled the tiebreaker, which is not good. So great week for me. Bournemouth and Brentford was a draw. I picked Bournemouth. The Costa Rican Primera, where we learned about Perez Zeledon and Liberia FC, which was amazing, was a draw. I did not, and I picked Liberia because of our information session, and I lost. League Two, Cheltenham and Barrow. I thought that Cheltenham would win. They were favored at home. It was a draw. The Chilean Primera, where we found out about the Clockwork Sausage, otherwise known as Nublense. They actually came through for us at a plus 160. So Clockwork Sausage. I'm not kidding.
I believe you, and that's horrifying.
The Bulgarian First Division had an underdog come through as a big winner. The Belgian Second Division, that involved one of the teams that until that day had not drawn the ire of the international community because of their relationship with John Textor. They did later in the day, and so that's why I went against them. And, of course, that was a bad decision on my part. Their anger was fueled by how John Textor was probably going to have them have points deductions as well. And so RWD in Brussels got the win over Charleroi. The automatic win was New England and Houston because the game was suspended because of weather. And Rennes blew up Nice 4-0, and that was the one that was on Sunday. And so I punched a minus 90, and I sucked. So there you go. It appears that I think David won in the Twitch pitch because he cut a promo before he had to go. And so here we go. Tuesday, CONCACAF Champions Cup, the CONCACAF Hemispheric Extravaganza, and Monterrey and Cruz Azul. How even is this one? The Juice Boxers have it even Steven at a plus 163 on either side. And the draw is a plus 250 in this one. And so it is literally, okay, you want to mess with this one? Grab the, mess with the bull, you get the horns. And so Monterrey right now, and as we've been discussing the game, Monterrey has turned into a slight favorite at a plus 160. And that's the only thing that has changed, but we're going to go even Steven at a plus 163 when I wrote it down. But Monterrey has shifted because they knew we were coming. Monterrey is now officially a slight favorite in this one in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
How much of a shift? How much is Vegas putting on this?
A whole three juice boxes, because it went from 163 on either side. During the show, it has gone to Monterrey plus 160. So it is literally a 3 juice box shift in an hour and 21 minutes. So that is where we are in the bracket with Monterrey and Cruz Azul. And Cruz Azul was 8-0 over Vancouver FC out of the Canadian Premier League in round number 1. Monterrey beat Selaju 3-1 in their 2 legs. And so now Cruz Azul and Monterrey in round number 1. So what say you, Nicolifi?
Give me Monterrey.
Nick goes Monterrey. Jarrett.
Monterrey.
And I will do the same. So Monterrey for the 3 of us. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's kind of it was a wash either way. Okay, so Monterrey, Cruz Azul, and the 3 of us have gone with Monterrey. Now, matchup number 2. And I'm guessing that this is some kind of business fan special.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, exactly. And so for the second one, we go, and I'm double checking to make sure that this game is in fact still on. We go, where is it? To USL Championship.
Oh, Lord.
Noon Eastern time. So I'm guessing it is a businessman special or kids day or something. Birmingham Legion at home at Protective, hosting Hartford Athletic. Birmingham Legion, a plus 105. Your draw is a plus 250, and Hartford is a plus 150. Hartford knocked off Sporting Jacks 3-0 in the opening game of the season and the opening game forever and ever for Sporting Jacks. And Birmingham Legion gets a business fan special after their opening loss to Tampa Bay back on Saturday. So Tampa Bay beats Birmingham.
What if this game doesn't get played because of
then everybody wins? Everybody gets a plus 100.
I mean, it's because of lockout.
Yeah, because they get fed up with the lockout. Then absolutely everybody wins in this one. So,
shout out, I say very sarcastically with tongue firmly planted in cheek, to the league who sent literature to the players, giving them instructions on how to cross the picket line if a strike happens.
Yes, if you would like a picket line.
And to leave the union.
Yes, if you'd like to cross the picket line, here's how you do it. So absolutely true. And so Hartford knocked off Sporting Jacks 3-0. And Birmingham lost to Tampa Bay 1-0 in the opening weekend. So once again, Birmingham Legion at home, a plus 105. By the way, Hartford, so Hartford scored 3 on knocking off Sporting Jacks. Birmingham loses 1-0. Your draw is a plus 250. Hartford on the road is a dog at a plus 150. Jarrett Smith, what say you if the game is played?
If the game is played, Hartford.
Okay. So Hartford.
Also, Hutch won.
Yes, and Hutch got a promo before he had to leave, and so he was
making sure we got that right.
He was off and running. Nick.
Fair enough.
So this is Birmingham.
Hosting Hartford. In a business fan special on Wednesday afternoon. 1:00 Eastern time, noon local.
It's a trip. It's a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
I will go with the more comfortable squad here, which will be Birmingham.
Oh, okay. So he's going with the home side to actually
my favorite ham.
Yes, Birmingham.
Not really.
Yes,
I was about to say.
Yes,
not best ham.
No,
it's not. What? No, best ham.
Yes,
best ham is my favorite ham.
Yes,
the superior ham.
Yes,
my favorite ham is the ham. Is night ham that you eat on the night of Thanksgiving when everyone's gone to bed.
Yes,
the house is quiet and you can turn on like Scott Van Pelt and sit in the recliner and like heat up like a ham sandwich.
Oh, see now.
Just remember, friends, in the words of Orson Welles,
Mhm.
if no one's watching, the
Mhm.
calories don't count.
Exactly true. This is what we're saying here, people. This is an easy one. No, I mean that's an easy one. And you take like the spicy Swiss colony mustard, maybe you get some of that. You can and you work that way with the sandwich. I get that completely. So and I'm going Hartford as well, just because they seem to have found their offense against really bad teams. And so my guess is they're not just going to fly in day of to Jesus Shuttleworth International Airport, go over to protective play, turn around and come back. Although it probably would be cheaper, but Jarrett and I pick Hartford. Nick picks Birmingham in this one.
It's fair.
Match number 3. Thursday, 1:45 Eastern Time. It is Europa Conference League. Lech Poznan and Shakhtar Donetsk. No, this is not played in Ukraine. So either way, game was going to be played in Poland because that's where Shakhtar is playing their European matches. And Lech Poznan is the home team here. Lech Poznan is a plus 163. Your draw is a plus 229. And Shakhtar Donetsk is a plus 154. As we are in the round, we are in the eighths. We are in the round of 16 in Conference League. The 6th seed Shakhtar Donetsk had a round of 32 bye. They waited for Lech Poznan to beat KUPS, the 21 seed, 3-0 in the aggregate. And so now in the round of 16, Shakhtar in Poland plays an away game in Poland to Lech Poznan. And just to let everybody know where they are in their respective leagues, in the Ekstraklasse, which you can watch, by the way, on Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. Lech Poznan is currently 3rd in the Polish league, and only by goal difference. They are at 38 points, and they just had a 4-match win streak snapped this past weekend, losing to Widzew Łódź, who's been fighting to stay out of the relegation zone. They are 3rd in the Polish league. By the way, the Polish league is finally getting some separation, top to bottom separated finally by 19 points, as we are now in 24 after 24 match weeks.
It was fun to watch, though. Like it's a sneaky good watch, considering like everybody was just beating each other with reeds.
Yes, and Shakhtar, after 19 match weeks, is leading the Ukrainian Premier League. They've won 4 in a row. They've only given up 12 goals in the Ukrainian Premier League. They have 44 points, and they are 3 points clear of LNZ Cherkasy. And it is those two at the top of the Ukrainian Premier League. What say you, Nikolifi?
Give me Shakhtar.
Attaboy. Shakhtar Donetsk for Nick. And Jarrett Smith, what say you?
I'll take the draw.
Okay. So you take
coward.
Yeah, and if I see now what would happen if I had picked a draw on this show with the two of you?
No, you're welcome to. I'm just a coward.
Well, no, I'm going with Shakhtar Donetsk because we have followed their story ever since the beginning, and we always have the scarves nearby. So we fully support what is going on with Shakhtar Donetsk, as they basically try to thumb their nose at dictators. So we dig that. So we're going Shakhtar as well in that one. Now, later in the evening, 8:30, which you also can watch on Fanatis at fntz.co/soccer down here, we go to Argentina. We're going to the LPF, and we get to see how a team is with their new manager, Huracan, hosting River Plate, and the chaos that is attached with Gallardo no longer in charge. Huracan, this is Group B activity. After 8 matches, they are at 12 points. 3-3-2. They have scored 8. They have given up 7. River is at 11 points. And after Gallardo left last time out, he went out on a win. They drew the last time out. And so they have 4 points in their last 2 matches after losing 3 in a row. River Plate at 11 points in Group B. Huracan at 12 points in Group B. Numbers, Huracan at home is a plus 210. Draw is a plus 175. And River Plate on the road is the plus 155. I am going to go with Huracan at home. So I'll go Huracan at the plus 210. Nick, what say you?
River Plate.
Okay, I'm there. Down with that. So Nick goes River Plate. I go Huracan. Jarrett?
Dead cat bounce River Plate.
Okay, dead cat bounce for River Plate. There you go. So the first four are in the barn. CONCACAF Champions Cup Extravaganza, Monterrey and Cruz Azul. We all picked Monterrey tomorrow night. USL Championship, if the match gets played, remember, that's the caveat. If it does not get played, everybody gets 100. Jarrett and I picked Hartford. Nick picked Birmingham Legion. In the Conference League in Europa, Lech Poznan and Shakhtar Donetsk. Nick and I picked Shakhtar. Jarrett picked the draw. And we went to Argentina for Huracan and River Plate. Nick and Jarrett picked River Plate. I have no such faith. Now, match number 5.
John does not believe that a dead cat bounces. Noted.
Well, I do, just not in this particular case. So for the fifth selection, we go to Australia. 4 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, on Friday the 13th.
Oh, Lord.
And you're going, why are we going to a matchup that is at 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern time on Friday the 13th? Because it is the A-League women's activity that we are discussing. Newcastle and Sydney.
That's weird.
Newcastle's women's team hosting Sydney. Newcastle's women's side is a plus 125. They're the home team. Draws a plus 229, and Sydney's women's side is a plus 160. Newcastle, and looking at the table, you're through 16, basically, 15, 16, 17 match weeks, depending on who we're talking about. Right now, Newcastle is 9th in the table, and they are at 17 points. They have lost 4 of 5. They are 5-2-9. They have scored 21 goals and given up 28. Sydney, on the other hand, is at 15 points, and they are dead blank and last after 16 match weeks. Sydney, however, won their last time out to snap a 3-game win streak to get to 15 points. They've scored 14 goals in the season, given up 22. So this is a battle of 9 and 11 at number 9, who has lost 4 of 5. And the team coming to town, decided underdog, really haven't given up a whole lot of goals this season. And they won their last time out to snap a 3-game losing streak. So, A-League women, Jarrett Smith, what say you at 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday?
I say I'll be asleep because it'll be 2 o'clock for me because I live in God's chosen time zone in the mountains.
Correct.
Sydney.
Okay, so Jarrett goes with the team that is on the bounce of 1 win in a row. Nicolafi, what say you?
It's a very Atlanta thing to do.
Hi, 4-card. Yes, I am alive. I've been a busy man, but yes, I am alive. Thank you for inquiring and checking in.
Yes.
I hope all is well with you.
Yeah.
And give me,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell with it. Give me Sydney.
Okay, so Nick's going Sydney. So the two of you have gone Sydney. I chickened out and went the draw, and I have no faith in Sydney on the 1-match win streak, but I also have no faith in Newcastle at home, as their defense is worse and their offense is better. And so I'm going to go draw in that one, and I will take the plus 229. Match number 6. And gentlemen, I don't know if you have heard the story about this particular Super League in China. And they have started their season. Yes, Nick?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit shenanigans.
Okay. So in the Super League, they have started their season. And they have finished match week number 1. So we are hopping in match week number 2.
Okay.
So going into this season, there were some issues involving the Chinese Super League. The season kicked off as 9 clubs of the 16 in the table started off with points deductions, including defending champ Shanghai Port
Sure.
and 2025 runners-up Shanghai Shenhua. Back in January, China banned 73 people from working in football for life and deducted points from 13 clubs, including 9 from the Chinese Super League, following an investigation into match fixing, gambling, and corruption in the football industry. A statement from the Chinese Football Association at the time said the penalties were intended to, quote, uphold industry discipline, purify the football environment, and maintain fair competition, end quote. The points deductions and financial penalties imposed on clubs are based on the amount, nature, seriousness, and social impact of the improper transactions in which each club was involved. So you look at the league table when the season started, and the season started between Chengdu Rongqing and Shenzhen Ping City, neither of whom were in the picks of the week. 2 teams had been hit with 10-point deductions to start the season.
Oh, 10 points is nothing. Okay. All right.
Shanghai Shenhua and Shenzhen Jinmen Tiger. Qingdao Hainu, meanwhile, had been docked 7 points ahead of their loss to Yunnan Yukun on Saturday. Shandong Taishan and Henan set above Qingdao on -6 points. 4 teams, Xizang, Wuhan 3 Towns, Shanghai Port, and Beijing Guan began their campaigns on -5. Former Everton midfielder Li Tai was among 73 people banned from working in football for life. Last year, the former coach of the national team confessed to fixing matches, accepting bribes, and offering bribes to get the top coaching gig. He also pleaded guilty back in March, earlier this month, to taking over $16 million in bribes, with these happening from 2015 when he was an assistant coach at Hebei China Fortune until 2021 when he quit as the national team coach. In a statement, Li Chase said, "I'm very sorry, should have kept my head to the ground." He does not mention reaching for the stars. Followed the right path. There were certain things that at the time were common practices in football. By gaining success through such improper means, it actually made me more and more impatient and eager for quick results. In order to achieve good performance, I resorted to influencing referees, bribing opposing players and coaches, sometimes through clubs dealing with other clubs. He added, this behavior becomes a habit, and eventually there is even a slight dependence on these practices. So you had 9 of the 16 teams starting off with -10 or better, technically. Match fixing, gambling, and corruption, which gets us to week number 2. We are going to go with Wuhan 3 Towns and Dalian Jingbo in this matchup.
Well, I'll just go ahead and tell you, this isn't the first troublesome thing to come out of Wuhan. So give me Dalian and on principle, on GP.
Dalian Jingbo for Nick. Okay. And by the way, Dalian is your favorite at a +1.25, by the way. Draw is a +250, and Wuhan 3 Towns, who we will be researching here in a second, is at a +170. Jarrett, what's
I'm on it. Give me Wuhan just because it's one of those where like I'm gonna break from Nick, and if this works, I can win the week.
Give you Wuhan, huh? Okay. Said no one ever. And so I'm going to go. I'm going to go in this one.
I'll put the crest in the chat in just a minute.
Yes, put the crest in the chat. That's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's pretty sweet. And they were founded 13 years ago as Wuhan Shangwen, play in a stadium of 54,000. Chairman is Wang Fang, and their head coach is Benjamin Mora. They were 13th of the 16th last year. And
there you go, Nick. I just put it in our chat. I also put a couple Uzbek clubs in there because there's a couple of those Uzbek crests that are absolutely amazing for good and bad reasons.
Absolutely true. So they were established by the Wuhan Football Association in 2013 and private investment from the Wuhan Benhua Group, mainly focusing on the development of youth players. 2018, they started to participate in the Wuhan Super League, finished second behind Wuhan Chufeng Healy, participated in the Chinese Champions League, made it to the round of 16. 2019, they got promoted to the Super League as going from China League 2. Super League champs in 22. 2023, you had a coach step down, and then you had clubs investors in August of 23 announce their intention to withdraw funding from the team as well as selling it for free. They're like, we're out, and if anybody wants it, they can have it.
Selling it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look, number one, if you bet on sports and you own a team or you are a player, your level of dorkness is like cataclysmic if you're doing that mess in China.
Mm-hmm.
Owning a team is betting on it. It's betting on your sanity and your money.
True.
It's just a
Yeah.
legal way to do it. And in
Yeah.
China, oh my God, it's an entirely different kettle of fish.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, the original owners were like, we're pulling out the funding and we're selling it for free. So if anybody wants it, y'all can have it. And so then the new owners picked them up, and then they debuted in the AFC Champions League.
That's not selling it. That's
No.
taking the busted chair from the kitchen table and putting it on the street corner in case somebody, you put that thing and you write free with a fading a sniff marker from your kid's atelier, and you put that on right next to the mailbox, and you pray to God that someone picks it up.
It's like, get this ish out of my yard.
Yes.
And so that's what the previous owners of Wuhan 3 Towns were looking for. And so then someone picked them up, and they play in a stadium of 54,000. No word on attendance figures or anything like that. But they are off and running. They are off and running, and apparently they're cool with it, and they moved from the stadium of 54. Okay, so one source has them playing in 20,000 seat stadium, and somebody else has them at 54,000. So who knows? Who knows what they're up to, and who knows who owns Wuhan 3 Towns, because that was not announced either as to who picked them up after they were left on the curb. So, left on the curb. And
something you found in Wuhan.
Nope, you leave that alone on GP.
That is true. And so they started the 26 season
correct.
with 5 points deducted for violation of sports ethics and loss of sportsmanship. You had 5 points deduction for violation of ethics and loss of sportsmanship, engaging in improper transactions to seek illegitimate benefits. Fam. It was released on January 29th of 26. And so yes, basically, yes. So then the CFA, the Chinese Football Association, had this rather large document when they were putting everybody on blast. Wuhan 3 Towns was fined 800,000 yuan, along with their 5-point deduction to start the season. So that is where we are with Wuhan 3 Towns. And I'm digging the logo. I actually do like the logo for Wuhan 3 Towns. I am not picking them on premise just because of, like Nick says, I'm like, not happening. Dalian Yingbo is going to Wuhan 3 Towns. I'm going draw on that one. Jarrett is going Wuhan. And that gets us through 6.
Yeah, Jared, don't worry. Jarrett's going to wash his hands and make sure he...
It is safe pick. It is safe picking. It is safe selections here. So match number 7 is Sunday at 9:00 in the morning. And it is the Swiss Super League. Lausanne and Young Boys. Lausanne is a plus 145. Draws a plus 280. Young Boys are a plus 150. So a fairly even matchup. Lausanne and Young Boys in this one. They are your matinee on Sunday afternoon in Switzerland. Through 29 match weeks, Young Boys are in a nation that plays the split. Jarrett, you should be happy about this.
I am.
They play this. They're playing the split. Young Boys are in the 6th slot at 42 points. Had a 2-game win streak snapped last time out. It's the last time out. They're at 42 points behind on goal difference. They have more wins than Sion, but they have a worse goal difference. They have the best offense, actually the second best offense in the league, but they also have one of the worst offenses in the league. They have the worst offense in the northern half of the split. And so that is why they are in 6th place, playing 8th place Lausanne, who is at 9-9-11 and behind Luzerne on goal difference. Identical records, 5 goals behind on goal difference, but Lausanne is playing at home, and they've won 2 in a row. Young Boys lost at home to Thun, who leads the division by, 68 points. They're 14 points clear of everybody right now. So Young Boys coming off a loss, going on the road, taking on Lausanne, 6 points behind in the split. Lausanne has won 2 in a row. Nick Alifi, what say you?
Sign.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going with Lausanne. All right. Jarrett Smith, what say you?
Lausanne.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll do that too. I like that. Actually, tell you what, no, I'm gonna go draw just to be different, because if I get to draw to plus 280, then that helps me out. All right. Matchup number 8. And you gentlemen may know this league. It is commonly referred to as MLS. We are going to do Sunday night soccer. San Jose hosting Seattle. So is it Turbo Timo time at PayPal Park with Bruce Arena, or is Seattle going to get points? Are they going to get the Duke? What do they do? Heading to Seattle for San Jose for Sunday night soccer.
Hold on, I gotta make this call, then I gotta bounce. So you
That's
guys
fine.
can
Well, make your pick. Yeah, make your pick. San Jose's favored at plus 145. Seattle plus 175. Draws a plus 250.
I've seen what San Jose can do.
Okay.
In honor of the great Jarrett Smith, I will be saying San Jose.
Okay. Go make your phone call and go fill out your email. Yes.
Love you guys.
Yes.
And game over Magic City.
Yes, game over Magic City.
Magic
Exactly.
City.
Yes, the new version. So Nick is going to go with Jarrett Smith's San Jose Earthquakes. And is Jarrett going to go?
You don't have. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, San Jose is not playing games.
No, they are not.
So give me San Jose.
Okay. And then I will go with the crazy draw of like a number that's way over the top.
That's
so
the draw's not a bad shot there, I don't think.
Yeah. So I was like, let's do something a little funky in that one. So
yeah, that's fine.
Games 5 through 8, A-League women from Australia, Newcastle and Sydney. Game 6, Chinese Super League, Wuhan Three Towns and Dalian Yingbo, both coming off of minuses to start their season. 9 of the 16 teams in the Chinese Super League with minuses to start their season. Game 7, Swiss Super League, Lausanne and Young Boys. Game 8, San Jose and Seattle. Now we need a tiebreaker. What do we do for the tiebreaker this week?
No, I have the tiebreaker idea. I'm trying to think of how we can track it because I'm not sure.
Okay.
Soccer for Good OG brought to mind the Uzbekistan Super Cup final.
Sure. Okay.
So that's Neftchi Fargona and Pakator.
Okay.
It's 2 of the bigger clubs in Uzbekistan.
Okay.
I just don't know where I was thinking, like, do we want to do like goals or cards? But I don't know how we would track it. I don't know where you're going to find that information.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at SofaScore. Paktakor is a minus 167, draws a plus 275, and Nabahor is a plus 350. And this is actually, so is this is, so hang on just a second. So everything, so we're going with the match is tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, Paktakor and Nabahor. So if we go, well, let me see what's the latest match in the league, so we can kind of are the one that has the most impact. So Neftchi and Andihon is tomorrow at 10. Most of the league matches You got 3 tomorrow. You have 3
Looks like
Wednesday.
it looks like they have a match on Friday on the 14th.
You got the 14th? Okay, you're
Yeah.
further down than I am.
Yeah, I got Super Cup.
Okay, so I'm in Super League. That might be the difference.
That might be the difference. I think this is Super Cup, which
Okay,
is honestly even funnier that they would play each other in league play and then have to go kill each other in cup play.
Okay, so Uzbekistan Super Cup. So that's what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. So literally, SofaScore is looking at me funny in Super Cup. So, all right, so Super League. So let me do
Super Cup Saturday.
All right, Super Cup Saturday. Hang on. All right, so Uzbekistan Super Cup Saturday. So let's see if we can come up with something here. So Super Cup table schedules and stats. Okay, so Neftchi and Paktakor on the weekend. Okay, so Neftchi and Paktakor, and the current holder of the title is Nasaf Karshi.
Mm-hmm.
And so
great crest, by the way, Nasaf.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. So 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And right now, if you look at the last 10 head-to-head, Paktakor has won 5, Neftchi has won 3, and there are 2 draws. And so you have Paktakor winning 5 of the last 10 head-to-head in this matchup. Last time they played each other, Paktakor won with 10, and they won 2-1 September 13th of last year. Paktakor beat
Paktakor, the cotton makers again.
Yes.
Giant cotton ball, like not even a cotton ball, like a tuft of cotton off the plant.
Okay, all right. So then before that, Paktakor beat Neftchi 4-0. January, February, March, April 19th of 2025. And then before that, it was a goalless draw in 2024. Paktakor won 2-0 in July of 2024. And then Neftchi, the last time Neftchi won was August 5th of 2023. So Paktakor has gone, let's see, win, draw, 3-0-1, or 3-1-0, however you read it. They've won 3 of the last 4. They have not lost in 4 against Neftchi, regardless of location.
And Neftchi has not won this competition. And Paktakor has been here 7 times and only won it twice.
Oh, okay.
5 runner-up finishes.
Wow. Okay, so you got 10 o'clock Saturday morning. It is the Super Cup final, and it's a single leg.
Mm-hmm.
So it is single leg, 10 o'clock on Saturday morning between Paktakor and Neftchi.
Yep.
Head-to-head, regardless of competition, Paktakor has won 5 of 10, and their logo kicks ass. So with this competition, what do we want to do? Do we want to do cards? Do we want to do fouls? Fouls might be an interesting pursuit. So considering that there was a red for Paktakor last time.
As long as there's a way to accurately track it. Even if we want to do this straight up as the tiebreaker, I'd be fine with that.
Okay, so stats last time out. Neftchi had a higher XG. They had more total shots. Twice as many passes. Of course, the red card will do that. Holy crap. Okay, so 14 fouls were called in the match.
Mm-hmm.
1 card, and it was the red. 1 card, 14 fouls called the last time out.
Well, if you're going to do it, earn it.
Yeah, and so apparently that's what it was. It was earned by Giovino Flammarion, who got his red card in the 23rd minute. 1 key pass, 1 assist, 1 for 5 passing in 23
he had a key pass.
He did. He had a key pass in 23 minutes, and then he
had a key red card.
He got the red card in the 23rd. and Paktikor still won 2-1, goals by. So Azizbek Turganboev scored in the 11th. You get the red card from Flammarion in the 23rd. Then it was tied in the 39th from Ikram Alibayev, and then Igor Sergeyev at 45 plus 7 got a PK. Paktikor held on in the second half with 10 men, and Paktikor got it. So let's go fouls. Let's go fouls in the Super Cup final. Remember, this is one leg. Fouls Super Cup final, Uzbekistan. So with 14 fouls, last time out, and a red card, what say you, Jarrett Smith?
Fouls.
Fouls.
It's a final. Give me 28.
Okay. There were 25 in the match before the last one. So literally it was 25 2 matches ago, 14 last and the one red card. So 25. So you said how many? 28?
28.
28. So Jarrett goes 28. So we'll ask Nick what he thinks for that number. Let's see. So is it going to be a guy who's got like 14 in his system, or has he got like 25 in his system, or is it going to be absolute chaos? I'm going to go with the guy's going to let him go like last night in the last 20 minutes or last 30 minutes in the MLS Next Pro match. And I don't know if it's on Fanatis, OG. That's a good question. It's probably on some VPN someplace.
Oh yeah, it's if you can find it, you just get a burner.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Don't use a personal device to find this.
No. I'm going to go on the low end of that scale, and I'm going to go 19. I'm going to say that this guy eats his whistle, especially in the second half.
Could see that.
And so I'm going to say Paktikor gets the win, and they finally get another Super Cup title, but it's going to be not a whole lot of cards at 19. So I'll go 19. I'll go 19 fouls, very few cards. You're going to go 28 fouls and probably a decent number of cards to go.
Probably, like gets messy late kind of game.
Yes.
Would be what I would think.
Yes. And so, I like the Sogdiana, Chris. That's pretty sweet.
Which one?
The Sogdiana, the first one you got?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's it's a wolf. It looks like, I don't know, man. It looks like a brewery logo.
Yeah, it does. It legitimately does. Like there's
it's a wolf howling with mountains behind it, and then a ball swooshing past it, like the old Regal Cinemas logo. You would go to when you would get on the Regal Cinemas train.
That is so MISL from the 1980s. Absolutely, it is. Paktikor, literally, it is just a cotton ball, 1956.
Yeah. And then the
Kogan,
is right up there with like Chicken NFC in terms of like we took some 1996 clip art and just rolled with it.
That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Guess y'all needed that.
Yes, Wuhan is pretty strong in FC Nassau. I actually like FC Nassau. That's very league that we don't condone promoter endorse.
It's very Astana.
Yes. That is very
Western European. I'm here for it.
Absolutely true. So I'm glad that you're feeling better and that you could come in this evening. I'm glad that Nick was able to show up for a while.
Yeah. Not like being dead helps.
Yes.
Was in Atlanta for a little bit. Not enough time to actually see everybody and do everything consistently, except to pop in for kickoff show, which my God, everything's gone south since then. But got sick on the flight back and just fell for a while.
Yuck.
Yeah, so, that was rough.
Blast. Glenn Davis and Casey White on SDHAM tomorrow. And Glenn is going to discuss what happened to him in Houston and what continues to be said by the owners in the front office. Victor Ariza has been asking questions, and they've been giving answers, and Glenn's going to come on and talk about that. He's going to talk about Houston in the World Cup. He's going to talk about the Dash. He's going to talk about the Dynamo, talk about what's going on with him. KCD is going to talk about what happened in St. Louis, and we'll go through everything else in Major League Soccer, 9:05 in the morning. And so we'll be off and running there, and it's going to be a fantastic Tuesday, and it's going to be very, very cool. But I'm glad that you're feeling better, and all those weird colors that you had in your salad and your food tonight. It's throwing me off.
Yeah. Yeah, it was vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, we can't have
Wild
it.
times.
Nope, not happening.
No,
Uh,
I respect that.
No, not happening. So you have your picks, you have your stuff. It's all squared away, and I
Oh,
will.
you degenerates.
Yes.
Do that voodoo that you do so well.
So well, yeah, but we need Hedley Lamar. And so
You worried about it. It's 1853. You can sue her.
yes, work. Absolutely. So that's all we do around here. So he's Jarrett. Nick was here. He's no longer here. And
He's John.
yes, he's out the door. And so I'm just John. Played safe. We'll be back in about 11 hours and 4 minutes for SDHM for Tuesday Thoughts. Since it's the end of the show, that means we do this. We put up a full screen with no music. Bye.